listening to the While We Still Can podcast. I'm Lisa, and Tina's making one hell of an expression right now. What do you see, Tina? Oh, interesting. There is a, It did act weird when I tried to log on. Well, if we are, we are. If anybody's listening, welcome. How you doing? Bro, I don't know. Worse things have happened. Okay, everybody, welcome to the live cast. So we're going to start off tonight talking about the shenanigans going on in Missouri right now. And I've got an article from the Missouri Independent here to share with you. It's by Clara Bates, today, April 17th. And the title is Missouri Democrats Filibuster GOP Effort to Overturn Voter-Approved Paid Sick Leave. And before I really get into the article, I am going to jump down and read this paragraph first. It says, under the law, beginning May 1st, employers with business receipts greater than $500,000 a year must provide at least 1 hour of paid leave for every 30 hours worked. Employers with fewer than 15 workers must allow workers to earn at least 40 hours per year, with larger employers mandated to allow at least 56 hours. The law also gradually increases the minimum wage. The bill would allow the minimum wage to increase to $15 per hour in 2026 as voters approved, but it would not be adjusted for inflation thereafter, a policy that has been in place since 2007. The sick leave provisions would be repealed entirely. The provisions would make sick leave guaranteed for around 728 workers who currently lack it statewide, or over 1 in 3 Missouri workers, according to analysis from the progressive nonprofit the Missouri Budget Project. Okay, so that said, let's jump back up to the beginning. Missouri Democrats stonewalled a Republican effort to roll back a voter-approved paid sick leave law, blocking action in the Senate for more than 9 hours before GOP leadership adjourned the chamber around 1 a.m. on Thursday. A bill sponsored by State Senator Mike Bernskoder, a Republican from Jefferson City, would gut Proposition A, a voter-approved law requiring most employers to provide sick time off for hundreds of thousands of qualifying workers starting on May 1st.
I know some of his family, and I'm going to be calling her up. Get your uncle, or whoever the fuck he is,
Bernskoder said Proposition A, quote, creates a one-size-fits-all, unquote, solution that would hurt businesses. Quote, an agreement to exchange time and talent for wages and other benefits is a contract between employee and employer, so I don't really think we should be getting in the middle of that. Aside, how about you not get involved in the middle of someone's reproductive system? Anyway, back to the article.
Why don't you burn scatter your way out?
Adding that voters may not have understood the extent of the law from the ballot summary. Okay, isn't it great how whenever the people vote the way they want, the people understood the law just fine? But by God, if they don't vote the way they want, ooh, it was confusing, or they didn't understand. Okay, back to the article. The bill passed out of the House last month with a vote of 96 to 51. If the Senate approves the bill, it will head to the governor's desk. The bill would also modify minimum wage law by removing the requirement that it be indexed to inflation. Democrats began filibustering the bill shortly after Bernskoder brought it to the floor on Wednesday, just before 4 p.m. State Democratic leader Doug Beck of Afton has called the issue of overturning Prop A red line. When I say I stand up for working families and workers, I take that seriously, Beck said. Beck said he and Republican leadership worked on a compromise dealing with some details of implementation that was then upended. I'm going to continue those negotiations, and we'll see what we can do if we can come to some sort of a conclusion. Maybe. Again, we might not, Beck said when the filibuster began. Bernskoder told him, there's a lot of businesses that are affected by this all over our state, and it's just a cumbersome process. I'm sure we can come to some kind of a solution. Okay, Proposition A passed with over 57% of the vote in Missouri, including rural, suburban, and urban counties. As he began the Democratic filibuster Wednesday evening, Beck ticked through each Senate district's vote totals, noting that it passed in 20 of the chamber's 34 districts, including 11 represented by Republicans. This is literally a mandate, Beck said, from the voters. The voters were never deceived. State Senator Angela Mosley, a St. Louis Democrat, said the bill will send a message back to their constituents that the public input doesn't matter. The legislature should wait to see what the impact is before intervening, said Democratic State Senator Steve Roberts of St. Louis. What was passed was reasonable, it's fair, and it's what our constituents want, he said. State Senator Tracy McCreary, an Olivet Democrat, said the legislature continues helping the wealthiest, including through the proposed capital gains tax cut the Senate passed last week. We're doing a lot of things to help Missourians that are the 1% of the 1%, or the people that are very, very fortunate. But then we're just piling things on and just doing everything we can, it feels like we're doing, just kicking and going after regular working families. And we're doing things that just continue to make it harder for people to make ends meet each and every month. State Senator Rick Bratton, a Harrisonville Republican, said the passage of Prop A is evidence of the problems with Missouri's initiative petition process. Let me read that again. Said the passage of Prop A is evidence of the problems with Missouri's initiative petition process, which he said puts major policy decisions in the hands of voters rather than the government they elected to represent them. It should have never gone to the people for a vote. Get this, Tina. Get this. Quote, "This is one of those things of the problem with direct democracy," Bratton said. "This is exactly what our founders were expressively against when they formed this nation." He's saying that the voters aren't smart enough to vote.
Well, you know what? They keep electing people that fucking vote against what they want. So maybe they are. I don't know. I mean, like, seriously, these guys are straight up. They're speaking like fascists. Okay, like we were just talking about this earlier about joking. Like, I'm a jokey person. I think a lot of shit is funny. There's several things that I have like 5 things that I zero joking about. Like, I don't joke about pedophiles. Well, not like joke, but you know what I'm saying. I don't think that's funny if you're seriously laughing about that.
You might laugh at them, but you're not going to laugh about them.
It's not, but concentration camps, or Holocaust shit, that is not funny to me. And a lot of people kind of lately are just kind of like, oh yeah, concentration camps. And I'm just like, well, that's not funny.
This gentleman seems to frown upon direct democracy and favor representative democracy.
So they're saying it. They're saying it out loud. Not trying to change the subject, but have we talked about the recent meeting in the White House, Bukele and our
I don't think we've talked about that.
Okay, well, I would just Donald Trump was really ass kissing to the dictator of El Salvador that owns a fucking concentration camp that we're paying for people to be transported to.
We're footing the bill for that.
But the way he was fawning over this dictator.
And then he said, hot mic moment, he's like, "We need you to build 5 more for the homegrowns so that,
we can send American citizens there." He said it that is what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do.
I think the takeaway is there's no due process for these folks. They, it doesn't matter. Like, if you are a person that's here, undocumented, if you will, and you are witnessed committing a crime out in the middle of public, you still deserve due process. That's who we are as a country. Okay, it might be the shortest trial ever because there's a lot of evidence and it doesn't take very long to sort it out for the jury to come to a conclusion, but you still get due process. That's who we are. That's why
you get to go in front of a judge that is like, hey, he is not a citizen and he committed this crime and we're deporting him.
But what's happening now,
ICE agent.
It's not due process. It's not.
Or these militarized police. Right. And I don't know the validity of this, but I have seen photos of these ICE agents, but they're like unmarked police. And the internet sleuths are like, find it. They're like, oh no, this is like a militia dude from blah, 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 and it's like, oh yeah, they were stand back and stand by. They were just waiting.
It's important to keep in mind that even if you think that person should be deported or should be sent to a prison, you can feel that way. That's fine. It's just, if there's no due process, then you too are at risk of someone accusing you of a crime. And if you don't have due process to sort it out, same thing can happen to you. You might be pretty far down the list of people that are going to get targeted, but ain't nobody safe under those circumstances. Ain't nobody safe.
Nobody. Like, are we that country that's disappearing people and sending them? So the thing with that prison is no one comes out. Like, no one ever comes out. So are we going to update people on the this was breaking news.
Just tonight before we logged on, Senator Van Hollen from Maryland, right?
Yes.
There are photos of him meeting with Mr. Garcia.
After he said yesterday that he wasn't going to meet with him, and Garcia is sitting. What is he wearing? Would you like to tell him?
He's wearing a plaid shirt that looks like a lot like the one we we put in our merch store in extra small boys size.
I bet Josh
in the
dropped
spirit
it off
of Josh Hawley.
He's
wearing that.
Photos of Josh,
and he's wearing a Chiefs cap, a white Chiefs ball cap with a black bill that Tina thinks looks photoshopped, and I'm still developing an opinion.
Maybe
it's just
they messed
very
up
in
the
focus,
color.
very in focus, and it exactly matches the color of his shirt.
Like maybe they messed up.
I don't know.
It just looks like I cut it and put it on there, like from clip art. It looks
like I don't know why a Democratic senator would have the need to Photoshop a photo of him, though.
No, I know.
Doesn't make any sense, does it?
That's why it's very weird.
Yeah. It's probably just a photo, Tina. I think we're overthinking it. You look disappointed.
No. I'm not. I know. I'm very happy. It's very like Kate, Princess.
Oh, yeah. That was fun when we went down that rabbit hole. Dude, we were so sure she was like offed. We were so sure.
I was sure Garcia was
dead. I'm the first to admit I was wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for what I said when I had my tinfoil hat on.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Why they be making AI videos?
Why?
Like weird.
Why?
Okay, what else we got? Big rally on Saturday, by the way, at the capital of Missouri.
Yay.
It's going to rain again. I brought some Sisto overalls because it's supposed to rain.
Oh, okay. So you got essentially you got rain gear.
Yeah. I didn't realize those are assless, by the way. They look like assless.
Who would have thought?
That's why they went into urology. Okay. Let's see. What else we got? I think we really need to talk about the DOGE whistleblower.
Okay, let's talk about it. Give us some background.
So we know that these young Dogers are going in and, saving all this money. Where's it at? And they're basically just stealing all of this data, right?
Allegedly, yeah.
Okay, yeah, allegedly. This is an NPR article. Jenna McLaughlin. So in the first days of March, a team of advisors from President Trump's new Department of Government Efficiency Initiative arrived at Southeast Washington, D.C. headquarters of the National Labor Relations Board. The small independent federal agency investigates and adjudicates complaints about unfair labor practices. So the DOGE employees appeared to have their sights set on accessing the NLRB's internal systems. They've said their unit's overall mission is to review agency data for compliance with the new administration's policies and to cut costs and maximize efficiency. But according to an official whistleblower disclosure shared with Congress and other federal overseers that was obtained by NPR, subsequent interviewers with the whistleblower and records of internal communications, technical staff members were alarmed about what DOGE engineers did when they were granted access, particularly when those staffers noticed a spike in data leaving the agency. It's possible that the data included sensitive information on unions, ongoing legal cases, and corporate secrets. Data that 4 labor law experts tell NPR should almost never leave, and that has nothing to do with making the government more efficient. The DOGE team asked their activities not be logged on the system and then appeared to try to cover their tracks behind them, turning off monitoring tools and manually deleting records of their access. Evasive behavior that several cybersecurity experts interviewed by NPR compared what criminal or state-sponsored hackers might do. Well, yeah, because that's what the fuck they are. Hold on. This is the best, juiciest part.
Okay.
Because it always goes back to...
The money?
Hold on. No. The big R. Russia. Okay. The employees grew concerned that NLRB's confidential data could be exposed, particularly after they started detecting suspicious login attempts from an IP address in Russia, according to the
disclosure. An IP address where? Where you say?
Ruska.
Okay.
Oh my God, my husband's name is Russia. Okay, I just realized that. Eventually, the disclosure continued. The IT department launched a formal review of what it deemed a serious ongoing security breach. Okay, so also, this was a place that was investigating, I think, SpaceX, right?
Not sure. Don't know. I'm not sure about that.
The labor law experts interviewed by NPR fear that if the data gets out, it could be abused, including by private companies with cases before the agency that might get insights into damaging testimony, union leadership, legal strategies, and internal data on competitors, Musk's SpaceX among them. It could also intimidate whistleblowers who might speak up about unfair labor practices. Yeah, just corrupting shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I just were they just letting Vladimir Putin just right in the government? They're like, hey, backdoor, come on in.
So then he got intimidated, right? The whistleblower.
Oh, yeah. I didn't.
It says, meanwhile.
Oh, yeah, he had to quit.
Yeah, his attempts to raise concerns internally within the NLRB preceded someone physically taping a threatening note to his door that included sensitive personal information and an overhead photo of him walking his dog that appeared to be taken with a drone.
They're mobsters, dude. We have mobsters running the fucking government.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, the worst of the worst. We got Cosplay Christie down at the border.
Oh, dear.
I was wondering, though, I had this, epiphany, not epiphany, I don't know the right word, but, okay, so, we have these leaders that they're just fucking terrible people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
that's not even alleged. That's pretty much documented over and over again, but go ahead.
That could be an opinion. I'm saying it. My opinion is they're fucking shitty. And, but I don't, this is really making me think when other countries' leaders are being shitty and you're like, oh, I'm mad at them. Why are they doing that? And now we're the them. We're being the buttholes. And I'm like, don't hate me, guys. And so what if all the people just banded together? I don't want to fight you. How do we cultivate that? Because we have all the means for it. So I don't, just a little thought I had.
Yeah.
Kumbaya. So we're bleeding liberal comes.
So you're saying the vast majority of people that feel a certain way that opposes their government, to get them to stand up and fight against the government? I'm thinking that's a revolution.
I did have one of my special little thoughts, which I also thought Garcia was dead, so don't listen to my special thoughts, I guess. But honestly, that picture looked like some clip art. Just saying, clip art. I did a lot of clip art back in the day, Lisa.
I've been so busy lately that I haven't had any time to check into witchy TikTok, which always makes me feel better.
There's just so much dystopian anyways. It's is it witch talk? Is it real? Is it a scary movie? Is it an Onion article? Oh no, that's real life.
Last I knew, they were we're just going to have to go through some rough times to get to the other side, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. So
Yeah.
I got part of it right.
It is, unless
Go through
it's
some
not.
crappy times.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything and I'm getting punished. It's so rude. But I also still feel bad. It's a long ass article.
It really is. I was trying to find the summary. But at any rate, the dude is a whistleblower. Data, for concern of data being stolen. A Russian IP address was included. And they tried to cover their tracks. And then the guy got intimidated.
Oh, that sounds like what happened to Jane Doe, Katie Johnson in California with the rape of Trump and Epstein raping this 13-year-old girl, and
oh dear,
they fucking intimidated her. You know, it's like what? Allegedly. Okay.
Allegedly.
So
that's
I just wanna end this with reading our favorite boys, Timmy Schneider.
Oh, Professor Snyder. What does he have to say?
Everybody in that organization that I'm in that's planning that rally,
yeah,
they all bought a big stack of those books and are giving them out.
Yeah.
It's great. Okay, so Timothy Schneider on Twitter wrote, on the White House's theory, if they abduct you, get you on a helicopter, get to international waters, shoot you in the head, and drop your corpse into the ocean, that is legal because it is the conduct of foreign affairs. So he's talking about the arguments that the DOJ is making with all of these judges that every single one has turned him down. Okay. The entire practice of the Holocaust of the Jews involved zones of statelessness. So that's reminds me of illegal aliens, right? Okay. It is easier to move people away from law than it is to remove law from people. Almost all of the killing took place in artificially created stateless zones. If we accept the idea that moving a person from one place to another undoes rights and disempowers the judiciary, we are endorsing the basic Nazism practice that enabled the killing of millions.
Wow.
Okay, so Timothy Schneider is a leading historian on the Holocaust. He's also leaving the United States because he knows what fascist governments do and who they target first. So after they go after the vulnerable and pick off them with Medicaid, Medicare, like, sorry, grandma's gotta die. Oh, sorry, your kid's sick. They're not strong enough. Die. Oh, we don't like the gays, fuck, dissidents, and the smart people, because we cannot have any smart people. And the people that can teach you what we're doing. Right? Am I right?
Yep. They're on the list of the first people to go.
So,
on that
I'm not
note,
being dramatic.
I just want to mention that if you guys didn't have a chance to hear our discussion or interview with Craig Unger last week, it was great. He's got such a wealth of experience, and he's been watching this shit shake down for the last 30 to 40 years, 50 years.
Canary in the coal mine.
Yeah. He knows what it looks like, and of course, he's focused on the international crime and especially the Russian angle of it all. But
there's
I just
so
feel like,
many pieces.
Why can we not learn from the past? Why do we have to make the same mistakes over and over again and suffer the pain when we could just pay attention to some history and nip it in the bud before it goes down that road? I feel like we're pretty far down the road already, but it's never too late, I guess.
Yeah, the deprogramming is gonna not be fun.
Yeah.
All right, you have a great trip.
Hey, thanks, man. So everybody, do what you can out there. Keep your chin up. And pay attention to what's going on and try to help some other people understand it too. Because
willful ignorance is not acceptable at this point. It is your civic duty.
Yeah, it's kind of too far for that. Yeah.
Human duty. That's like poop. That's the title. Duty or duty. Okay.
All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.